great in here. Hope you're all having a fantastic time and everything. I could be better. I could be a lot better. To be honest, I haven't really worked on the car much today. Keith was doing a lot of work to the car, but I got a late start. I was just not feeling too well this morning when I got up, and now I am just trying to figure out what I'm gonna do here because unfortunately I have now listed the '86 Mustang. I don't know what's gonna happen with that. Hopefully, I can find a buyer for her because I am just at a point where I can't afford to keep doing the project that I'm currently doing. So it's the only thing I have of value is to sell that because I have nothing else I can sell currently. Or like I do, but like I have no buyers for the stuff because it's just unusual stuff that doesn't really cost a lot of money. So yeah. And hey Jim, how's it going? Definitely appreciate you coming out. You appear to be the first viewer, so I'm currently live, and yeah, it's just I'm in a bit of a pickle because learned today that the drive shaft is actually too long in the car. Now, if I had the 7.5 still in the car, probably wouldn't be dealing with this, but with the 8.8 that it's actually bigger, unfortunately, that's a thing. So that's kind of where I'm at, and I don't have the money to get a shortened drive shaft right now. I don't, because from what I hear, it's about $250 to do it, and I am basically broke. I already borrowed money to get a starter for the car, and so yeah, like I should be in there working on the car, but I'm not. I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do here, like, because I don't want to borrow even more money. You know how that goes. I can't even throw it on my credit card right now because it's maxed out. So it's tough. Like the one thing is building your sort of dream is really difficult when you just don't have the money to do it, right? I have been riding on used parts and that sort of thing to do this and just good deals, but right now money's run dry. So I'm currently up in Edmonton, and yeah, like it's so sad because I only need about an inch and a half shortened, and it's one of those things. Like it's not much, but it's enough to where it's a problem, and like it's interesting because like people do this in their driveways and whatever else, and like no problems, or some people have problems, some people don't. But and sometimes they get away with not having a drive shaft balanced or whatever else because they just magically hit the right numbers when they were doing this and they were good. So I don't know. And like yeah, because that's where I'm at, which I'm kind of surprised, like because I knew that we were gonna have potentially some issues with this. Like we kind of talked about it a bit, but unfortunately, that's what we're come across because the transmission's in. The transmission mount had to be modified, had to be extended a little bit to actually work. And yeah, other than that, like I still haven't like tested the transmission, obviously, because I haven't even driven the car yet with the transmission in it because just got that in today. So yeah, it's one of those deals where I'm just it's very annoying. But what can you do, right? There's nothing I can really do. Like I listed my convertible for sale, but that's where I'm at. Actually, I'm gonna turn on another light here. So just give me one moment. Oh god, there's no real bright lights in here at all. Okay, well, I don't know if that made a difference or not, but here we are. Sorry. Okay, I'm back. It made a little bit of a difference actually. It's just the bulbs in here aren't very bright, so and where the lighting is situated, it's kind of difficult. So apologies for the not as great a camera because of the lighting. But yeah, let's see. Has anybody said anything else? No, not yet. Okay. So like yeah, everything else though has actually gone pretty okay. Like running into the starter, that was annoying, but we figured that out. Because and I didn't realize this was actually a thing between automatic and manuals that typically they have different starters. I had no idea about that because like why would they do that other than for you know engineers to make more money because of or like just the companies make more money from that. So hey Tracy, how's it going? Hope you're having a fantastic. Because I wish I was doing better, but I'm not. Because money woes, gotta love. Yay! So, um, yeah, it's always fun. Always fun to deal with this stuff. But what can you do? Like yeah, because right now, so I and actually found another coolant leak because why wouldn't there be a coolant leak? Where it's coming from though happens to be a thermostat housing, which is weird because we didn't even touch that. So I don't know why it's leaking. That just happened as soon as we put the transmission in. Just all of a sudden, hey look, it's leaking. What? At least it appears to be the thermostat housing that's leaking. So I don't know what changed with that. So that's a little annoying, but if it's just that, then not the end of the world. Just really annoying. But yeah, like the motor's all painted and everything, and it's looking good. And I'm glad to hear that you're okay. And so far, like the swap has gone pretty okay. It's just slow. This whole process has been slow because, like, Keith he has a really bad back and he has heart issues. Me, I have a not as bad of a back as he does, but pretty bad back as well. And I also have like head and heart issues. So it's always fun, like working on the car and stuff like that. I have to take quite a few breaks to be okay. So otherwise, I'll just faint, literally. So it's a struggle to do this, you know. And yeah, just I gotta figure something out, but that's okay. One of these days, maybe they'll figure stuff out with me. Wait, no, still nothing. But yeah, so because some of the stuff like we still have to figure out the bracket situation for the cable, and obviously the drive shaft issue, which again needs to be shortened, and it's probably going to cost around $250. And I don't know if I can cheap out on it a little bit. Like if I can say, hey, just reuse my old U joints, not a big deal, because my U joints actually are in good shape. So maybe I can get away with that and like don't even paint the drive shaft, just leave it raw, sort of thing. I that sort of thing. Because I can just paint it myself if I want to, or just not even paint it at all, just throw it in, not a big deal. Like there should be ways to be able to make it cheaper. I would hope, but we shall see. Like I still would want it balanced though, because yeah, I don't want to deal with a potentially super shaky sort of car. So, lay side. Because yeah, it's one of those awful things. Like technically, could we ram the drive shaft in as it sits? Technically, yes. But the problem is, as soon as you do like a sort of bang shift or anything like that, it'll just oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That's rough. Mm-hmm. Poor pup. That's really disappointing to hear that. Because for me, like pets are like family. They are sort of a rock for me, and like I have two cats. My one cat, he's 23, going on 24 years old this year. For reference, I'm 26, so the cat's been around just about my entire life. And we got him when he was 2. So, better part of like 21 years I've had that cat. So, it's amazing how old he is, and he's still kicking. He's still in good shape overall. But he's got sarcoma, so he has to deal with that, which is annoying. Like really, really. But that's fine. Um, yeah. And I apologize for like the really bad sort of webcam. It's because of the lighting in here. Like if there was a light that was like an LED right behind the camera, basically, it'd be so perfect. Or like not right behind the camera, but like up on the roof behind the camera, sort of thing. It'd be perfect. But unfortunately, this house is from the '70s and it hasn't had this lighting upgraded. But it's a good little place though. I've been staying here and it's been fine. It needs some work. Like still needs floors put in. Got the walls painted though. They're all pretty. So yeah, because again, not my house. This is my buddy's house, and interesting because like currently he doesn't live here, but he's allowing me to stay here, so it's quite convenient actually to be able to have this. Drepsician? I'm not. Apologies, I don't know. Dropsician. I'm not sure what that is actually. Yeah, it's. But you don't have to apologize. It's okay. Yeah. Holy crap, I'm tired. Like, and that's the one thing. Every night I've only been getting right around 5, maybe 6 hours of sleep, so it's starting to like drain on me too. Plus working on the car as well, it's done that even more so. Yeah, like I don't know how long. Oh, depression. Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, like I deal with that a lot. To be honest, like this time of year is really awful for me too. Just because like with Christmas and then with my mother's birthday, me and her don't have a good relationship anymore. Her birthday is like just basically a couple weeks after Christmas, so usually from like about December right until mid January, I'm just kind of a little strapped. But you know, it's just one of those things, and like so, I completely sympathize. I yeah, you know what? I rely on the chat for this, but as long as your questions don't involve anything weird or anything like completely screwed up or sexual or anything like that, I'm cool with it. You know, I can like, and if there's something that I will not answer, I will fully tell you that right off the bat as soon as I see it. So yeah, I mean, if you want to ask questions, go ahead. I'm totally okay with that. Ugh, just tired, and transmission's giving issues because why not? I mean, it's not actually the transmission itself at this point. And this is one thing: if the transmission actually is screwed, we know it has miles on it. Oh, okay, sure, yeah, go ahead. This is an automotive sort of site, so hey, I'm always willing to, and if I can't, like, and if I don't know the answer, I'll fully tell you because I do know a lot of stuff, but there's still a lot of stuff that I don't know, right? So I was gonna set this up actually to do this in the shop, but I need to go to the bathroom, and well, the house is a little warmer than the shop is. Even though there's a heater out in that shop, it's a nice tin sort of building with no insulation, so it's a little cold in there. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of times I'm wearing my coat working on stuff. Oh, last night I was not. Because if you saw my video, like, I think it was my last video I put out, I was assembling so it was just the accessories and stuff like that on the engine. Plus reconnecting electrical and that sort of stuff. I didn't fully finish it. I did majority of it. And then, there was one thing though that, because Keith, he put the starter in, because we installed the bell housing and then today the transmission got put in. So he did the starter and he did the ground cable as well, for the starter and all that stuff. So, but I did basically the rest of it, and he just double checked my hose clamps, because I always have an issue trying to get hose clamps as tight as they need to go. It's just one of those things where I can never quite gauge how tight they need to go. So yeah, it's kind of annoying, but it is what it is, right? Let's just. Cause I was gonna cycle through to make sure I'm not missing anything. So found a 2.3 out of an 88 Ford truck. It was okay. So that 2.3 was out of a Ranger, and you want to put it in a Mustang. The only things that I could think of that you might run into is, so oil pan will most likely be different between the two engines. Um, the ECUs should just be able to bolt back to each other, I would think. I don't know, because I'm not sure what's all different between them, but I know between cars and trucks, 99% of the time you have to change out the oil pan. But if you have the Mustang oil pan, yeah. Oh, so wait, you want to put the stick shift into the Mustang? Okay, I got you. So you would have to look. Okay, I understand. So with you want to do a manual swap on the Mustang with using a Ranger 2.3 5-speed, is what you're saying. Okay. Um. Well, a lot of it should be the same then. Like, to be honest, the transmission should be able to bolt in. The pedals are going to be the worst part of it, because let me tell you, the pedals putting it in that was annoying. But other than that, because I don't think you'd be able to reuse the Ranger pedals. I think you'd have to get some specific to a Fox body. And yeah, I'm not too sure. No, okay. Oh, so you want to keep it on? Okay. Sorry, my bad. I'm trying to. So you're needing to. Okay, so you're needing to swap the engine, not the transmission. Gotcha. Well, to be honest, the engine itself in the Ranger, like I mentioned, you should be able to pull it out, swap out the oil pan from the Mustang onto that, and basically bolt it back in, I would think. Like, I don't know if there's really any difference between them, that other than that, right? Because they should, honestly, internals should be all the same, I would think. And because, like, bear in mind, the Rangers with the four banger, it wasn't really much of a work truck or anything at that point. It was just um, it was just kind of like a commuter truck. Like, I would think so, but oh hey, yeah. I mean, I've been dealing with some stuff, like my personal health has been kicking my ass, and then also just figuring out with the car and all that stuff of getting the swap done, getting the money together, all that stuff. And now I've ran into another snag, which is the drive shaft. I have to get it shortened, but I don't have the money to do so. So I've listed my '86 Mustang now, and yeah, that's how it goes, unfortunately. And I wish, I wish I could say differently, but I just, yeah, it's in this time of year is stressful too. Like I mentioned earlier, from about December to mid January, I'm just kind of a mess. So yeah, um, it's one of those deals where I am just figuring stuff out, and like And yeah, that blue, honestly, I love that blue. And it's funny because it was the only blue I could find in an enamel engine paint. Because that's what I was looking for, right? And the black accents, they look really good. Although on the exhaust side, that's gonna quickly be gone. I know that. It's gonna burn off real quick. But that's fine. I'm not too worried about that. Hey, no worries, Jimmy. I hope it goes well for you. And like, because I don't know much on those 2.3s, but I'm pretty sure that between a truck and the car, that it, like between a Ranger and a Mustang, that they'd be the same. So yeah. Ah, cool, cool. See now, it's interesting because that blue, it's not original Ford blue. Like some people think it is, but it's not. It's actually a little brighter than that. But it looks fantastic in there, and it matches the distributor cap perfectly. So there's that. Because yeah, like right now, what needs to be finished on the car, because like I've been putting out a few different like teaser videos and whatnot. Like that time lapse video, for example. That's the first time. Well, not my first time filming a time lapse, but my first time like editing clips together for a time lapse and posting it, because I have one other time lapse that I'm going to release actually as a video. It was actually driving up here, and but I actually stopped in Panoka instead for the video. However, it's still like over an hour of driving, but it's condensed down to like 12 minutes. So it's kind of neat. Um, and I'm not sure how people will like that or if they'll hate it. I don't know. So it's kind of one of those things where I've never tried it. So, well, thank you. Like, to be honest, all I did with that, because I am not much for editing, I just edit clips together and that's it. For the time lapse portion of that, my phone just has this time lapse feature in the camera, and so that's how I filmed. And like you can even see one spot of the film where because I didn't even edit that part out, of where I had it aimed at the motor, then it was kind of aimed down at the floor for it's about a second of the video, and then it transitions to another spot. And you can see where I was trying to like, okay, can I put the tripod over top the engine bay sort of thing to look down, right? Because that'd be kind of a neat view. But unfortunately, I couldn't get it to stay standing there, so I was like, okay, screw it, put it back on the ground. So, well, thank you, Jason. I do appreciate that, because like I do work hard to do this. You know, because I do battle my health and everything like that when doing this sort of stuff, and you know it's quite fun though. And seeing your guys' interactions with my videos and everything, it's great. I love it. It makes my day. Um, you know, well, the ones that aren't like the weird comments, stuff like that. I'm sure you guys have seen them. And the almost, I've had some, actually, it's interesting of like potentially not like, I don't think they are intending to be patronizing, but they kind of are being patronizing with it. Like, say, like a friend of mine on Facebook, actually, because I posted that time lapse on Facebook. That, and the thing is, one of my friends goes, "Hey, that's awesome. Love that blue." And the fact, like, and I'm proud that you know what you're doing. And I'm going like, but it's not that hard, you know. For like these old cars, they're stupid simple, you know. And like, yeah, literally in that video, what did I do? Okay, I put the carburetor back on, hooked up the you know, the throttle cable. I put the spark plug wires back in. I hooked up the fuel lines again, and I put the hoses on the car, which it wasn't even all the hoses, because I don't know. I did not even connect the heater core hoses in that video. To be honest, we did that after, because I was actually swapping the heater core out. We were having major problems with that, actually, because the heater core, stupid simple in non-AC cars from 79 to 86. Very easy. It's literally like 6 bolts. The thing comes out. You can just bring it out and just slide the other one in. But we were having issues with moving, and it still moves a little bit, but we were able to knock that down with some we just found a bunch of foam like from a seat cover actually, and we cut that up and kind of put it in. It still moves a little bit, but nowhere near as bad as it was. So hopefully that won't leak. We shall see. Yeah. My favorite car channels. I'm trying to, because actually I haven't watched too much car content on YouTube for a bit. But, I mean, I have to say, one that actually, so they just recently made this channel. Because they had a channel called Coastal Auto Reaction, but then I'm not sure why they stopped really posting on there. I know that there were some health issues, whatever else. But they made a new channel called Junkyard, I think it's Junkyard Resurrection. And their videos have actually been really good. I've liked their sort of content that way. They've had a few videos, actually, I haven't watched the most recent one, where they actually are at Roy Marco's, which is up here in Edmonton, and they are talking to him and about his cars and even driving in the Hudson, which I've been in that Hudson. You know, it was cool. Like that Hudson, because it's a 51 or 52 Hudson Hornet. It's a sedan. It's got an AMC 232 inline six, I believe. Still automatic, and it has like no upholstery inside of it. So you're sitting on in the front seat. When you're in the seat, you're on a really thick blanket on the springs, which is just hilarious to think about. And the back seat has nothing. Like you have to kind of bring your own cushion for it. But it's such a cool car, you know. And yeah, you know, like, and Roy Marco is another one of those, like Roy Marco's Garage here on YouTube. He's another one of those channels that I really like his content, whatever else, and he's a personal friend of mine. We've done some collaborations together. And one last one is actually Teen Mechanic here on YouTube. His videos are interesting because of how he is, because his name is Joseph, and I'm actually friends with him. He likes his big old boats. So that means like the old like 70s Cadillacs and Thunderbirds and that sort of thing, right? The bigger the better for him. And it's kind of interesting considering he's only a 16-year-old kid. And like recently he just picked up it was a 73 or 72 Oldsmobile 88 Royale. Oh, well, hey, I'm number 2 in yours? Cool. I'm cool with that. Right in behind Doug DeMuro. See, now, like, I used to watch Doug DeMuro stuff, but I don't know, it just got a little boring. Like, some of his stuff, though, I will watch more. It just depends on what he's doing. But yeah, like, it's one of those deals, but like I said, that's just my opinion. And, like, there's some videos he does just fantastic. Other times, it's just, like, I just can't watch his content. And I don't know what it is, but yeah, it's just one of those deals. And actually something. So the other day, like this was just a couple days ago, really, I surpassed 2,500 subscribers on here. So I want to thank every single one of you for subscribing to the channel and helping to support me and my vision for YouTube here. Because YouTube is it is my sort of crutch, really. It helps a lot with my mental state. Yeah, and I like to put out content, but it's difficult to try and find videos to put out. Like if I'm not just doing a major project or something like that, it's like, okay, what do I think here? And I find myself like kind of repeating the same stuff, and I don't want to do that too much. You know, because like the cold start, those 2 videos that I did a few days apart from each other, that was just honestly to see. Okay, the first one was just for me, just to see, hey, does like I was curious what it was about. It was like minus 38 in the first video, where to see, hey, is the car gonna start? And both of them did not. The Capri would have started if it didn't have such heavy oil in it. So there's that. But then the Mustang, the battery died, so I had to recharge the battery. Which I had to actually physically bring it inside. and it's fine now. Like there's no issues with that option, which is nice. It's still under warranty, even if there was, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, I mean, the Lamborghini Miura, that is out of all the kind of out there sort of Italian cars, like that's the first supercar out there. It is probably my favorite, of the vintage, anyways. Because like I like Lamborghini as a company. They've always made kind of interesting cars, and like some of my favorite cars from Lamborghini are some of their '70s ones, like the Lamborghini Jalpa, I think it is. Jalpa. I'm not sure exactly how it's pronounced, but it's an interesting car when you look at it. Hey, Brian! So, Brian, actually, he's a friend on my Facebook, and he's been on, or trying to go on, this sort of big adventure to pick up this Beetle, and it's a pretty good road trip and whatever else, so glad to hear from you. How's it going? How's the road trip doing? I saw that you were having, I think it was like lunch in Salem or something like that earlier. I saw that on the Facebooks. Because, yeah, but me and him talk quite a bit. Too much damn snow. I understand that. Luckily, we haven't had that, like, we had a bunch of snow dump, and then it's not been snowing at all. It's quite nice for that. Especially when, and actually something that happened today while I was driving the Capri. So, no big deal. All of a sudden, I lose dash lights, and I think, crap, okay, no big deal, right? Just lose dash lights, no big deal. Well, the Fox bodies, I didn't know they were like this, to be honest, until I was on the phone with Keith, that actually owns the car. He's just like, yeah, by the way, your tail lights are going to be out too. I'm like, really? And I look back, oh yeah, shoot, they are. So I had to drive home about 15 kilometers with no tail lights. So, hey, no worries, Scott. I definitely appreciate you coming out. Hope you have a fantastic sleep, and I'll catch you later. That sucks. Okay. Well, here's hoping. Here's hoping that works out. For you, because that would be fun. Will not lie. And Beetles are cool, because yeah, he's actually, so Brian there, he's a big Beetle enthusiast, and like when I was potentially doing this trade for this, so it was a Volkswagen Dune buggy, but it was done by who made that? Can't remember the name, but anyways, they made this specific body for it, and this one had a Corvair engine and everything like that, and then he was giving me some tips on it and some advice, because I know almost nothing on Volkswagens. I know they're stupid simple, like they're even simpler than a Mustang, but it's one of those deals where I've never actually worked on one. I've never really looked at one too closely up close, right? So it's one of those things. I've always been interested in them, but it's just not something that I've like fully researched yet. Okay, so yes, I just bought a new starter, but because turns out, so I didn't realize this on them because the automatics and manuals use different starters, but apparently that's almost common practice in a lot of vehicles. I had no idea about that. So yeah, got a new starter, no big deal. It's the only one in town that I could find though. So luckily I found it. And it's an old rebuild, but it's a Wilson starter, so it's actually a good starter, and it was only $80. That's not bad. But now I've run into a little bit more of a snag, and I don't have the money for this. Drive shaft needs to be shortened in the car. Transmission is in currently, but we discovered that, hey, look, the drive shaft is not, like, could we ram it in? Yes, but it would, like, destroy itself if we did. So we elected not to do that, and we've got to get the drive shaft shortened. So, and that's going to be probably around $250, which is money I just don't have. So I'm not sure what exactly going to happen. My 86 Mustang, so the convertible, has been listed. So maybe I can find a buyer on that, and then all of my issues with this debt and whatever can just go away. But I don't want to sell that car, but it's one of those deals where if I can sell it and get some money in my pocket and pay off my debts, it's a good thing. So, because I owe Keith quite a bit of money, because actually the starter, he paid for that because I did not have the money for that. Because I didn't anticipate that. I didn't anticipate needing to buy any more parts like that. Like some small stuff, sure, $50, $60, whatever, but not having to spend like $300-400 on stuff. So that's the struggle here. Struggle bus, very much struggle bus. But yeah, no, that's going right now. So, because right now, like, not that work's halted, but I've just stopped. I decided I want to do this live stream, but then I needed to go to the bathroom, so I did it in here. So I'm gonna be going out to the shop here pretty shortly, I would think, but we'll see. Oh, two cripples garage. It's pretty accurate though. It really is, Both me and him are quite screwed up. Which I don't know. I might make a different channel that is just that, and it's just the two of us doing stuff like just hokey sort of stuff and having fun. Because it's not like we haven't, it's just that stuff that hasn't been filmed. Like, so the whole adventure, and I should have brought my dash cam for that, because that would have made a fantastic video, but I didn't do it. Not my dash cam, sorry, my dash mount for my phone. Because, so back in the summertime, Keith had bought, so there was a Grand Prix at the auction, and there was this old Ford pickup from, I think it was like 76 or so. Had 300 inline six and 4-speed, and I was just like, you know what? The Grand Prix is probably a nice one to drive, but I kind of want to drive the Ford. It's just, cool old truck, and it was surprisingly not bad. But, like, you can tell this thing had been sitting for a long time, whatever else, and it ran okay. But, that's pretty accurate of how we work. I'm not kidding. We will get like 2 or 3 jobs done and then take a break for like 20-30 minutes, and then get 2 or 3 jobs done and then take a break. And it's very slow. It's very slow. And even in the middle of a job too, where most people, hey, look at that. Like, this job would have been done far sooner for most people. Like, of total build time, I think we're on day 6 with this. But most people probably would have had this done in like 2 or 3 days, to be honest. But it's like, with the same skill level that both me and him have, without the health issues, they would have just slapped this together, no problem. But we have our issues. And yes, my dress is torn. I know that. It's sad. That's okay. Yeah, so it's one of those deals where trying to get this done in a timely manner is something that we can't do. And every day I'm here, it costs me around money. So, which is what I only have. Like, I'm down to like $110, $100, something like that, to last me for who knows how long. And I still, because the one thing is, I still have to get back home. After all of this is done, I gotta fill that thing up with fuel and drive her home. What? It's one of those things where I don't even know if I'll be able to afford a full tank of gas by the time this is done. It's rough. And I had to, so today I went to Canadian Tire and looked for, because my oil pan drain bolt was leaking just a tiny, tiny bit. So I'm like, okay, let's go tackle this. So I go to Canadian Tire and I pick up, I was hoping was a proper gasket, but turns out, no, it's just a nylon gasket, which doesn't really work that well. But it's better than it leaking, so I'll just have to replace them basically every oil change, which blows. So until I can find a proper oil pan drain plug gasket. Not this little nylon doorman crap. It's annoying. But yeah, I mean, I won't stop this at all. Like, I'll keep going. It's one of those deals where, you know, you just gotta push through your stuff, and I push through it as best I can, right? You know, but it's still rough. Like, even right now, God, I am tired. I don't really want, like, I would like to have a rest day, but that's just not gonna happen. I will just have to suck it up and get back out there. Plus, I gotta fix the, because with the Capri, it's just a fuse, but I gotta fix that fuse in the Capri too. Because otherwise, that thing's not gonna have taillights or dash lights. That was fun driving home without dash lights. You can't see a thing on your dashboard. So I had to turn on the dome light to see my gauges, and I can barely see them at that point. And then plus I had no taillights, so 4 ways all the way home. Or I shouldn't say home. I should say all the way here, which is basically like a second home for me at the moment. But yeah, one of those deals. And literally, like, it's kind of funny because this house, it's stripped of everything right now because there was a bunch of work that was being done to it. So literally, the only furniture in the house, I'm sitting on one chair. There's a folding chair here in the living room as well. There's a there's a stool, and there's a bucket for the remotes and, you know, to put a drink down. That's it. it's now there is actually a PS5 in here, which is cool. I've been playing that a little bit, and I thought about, you know what? Hey, why not do something different and just live stream me playing the game? I've thought about doing that because, like, I did that in the past with Gran Turismo, but it didn't really work out very well because I didn't have a camera. Don't have a camera for this yet, but that's something that I think we'll do at some point. And, you know, just have a thing, and, like, it'll be like an automotive based thing, but who knows? I might be playing Call of Duty, or I might be playing, you know, God of War or something. So I've thought about doing that. But we'll see. We'll definitely see. But yeah, holy crap, am I tired. But I should get back out to the shop and see what I could do about getting that thing further together. Yeah, because it's still not. The one thing that's discouraging right now is that drive shaft, because I can't afford it, and I don't want to ask Keith for more money, and that's my trouble. So I don't know. I'll figure something out though, for sure. But anyways, I'm going to sign off here. You know, a decent little stream of 40 minutes. I might stream later, like even just working on the car and doing stuff. We'll see. Because I still gotta put the interior back together in the car. Because, like, back seats out even, front seats, the driver's seats out, steering column still out. Although we do have to figure something out. And let's see, like, what else do I need? I still need to fill the engine with oil. Need to fix that coolant leak that all of a sudden came up for no freaking reason whatsoever. That literally had no reason to leak, because I think it's a thermostat housing. Thermostat, you know, that aluminum thing. So I think that's where I narrowed it down to. I'll have to look closer, but I think so. So anyways, I definitely appreciate it, Brian. Thank you so much. And for anyone else that is watching this at a later date, well, thank you for making it to the end. But yeah, I'm gonna skedaddle here, because I should get back to work on my car. I've had a good enough break here, because I haven't been working on the car all day, to be honest. I haven't done anything to it, so it's been Keith doing the work today. So anyways, I will chat at y'all later. Peace.